goodness, Louise, this is all very impressive.
It's remarkable how quickly one's life can change. Who would have thought a book about an insane killer clown would make Louise Cherry a household name?
It's sold out all over town. I still haven't had a chance to read it.
Oh, let me know what you think.
Well, thank you. And whose idea was it to make a film?
Mine. I wrote the scenario. Although it's not really writing. Hello, Alma.
I told you. It's Lee.
That's the actress who plays the killer, Lee Iverson. She takes her role very seriously.
But why is a man playing the other clown? They were sisters.
Yes, but there's only one killer in the movie version. Jack over there plays the part when the mask is on.
Well, the audience noticed. It was a different person.
Oh, Julia. The people who watch these things aren't exactly the best and brightest.
Oh.
Louise, a thought. In this scene, after the clown has killed young Miss Robbins, I want to take on the perspective of her paramour, watching on from the corridor. The murder is done. The clown is fled, but we hold as Perry watches in terror. And we hold.
Marvelous.
Forgive me, why would you film a scene where one woman murders another woman from the perspective of a man who's merely observing?
And who are you exactly?
Claude, this is Dr. Julia Ogden.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there is a woman dead, and yes, there is a woman who killed her, but the scene hinges on the inaction of this inert man, neutered by fear and cowardice. But the man is the most interesting part.
Is he?
Claude, about the scene where I fight the clown, how scared should I be?
Scared. Louise, were you scared when you fought off the killer and brought her to the police?
I wouldn't say scared.
Bravery personified. This, dear Francis, is the task before you, to embody this vision of force and beauty. If you excuse us, Louise, we must prepare for the scene. Francis.
Well, he's certainly smitten with you.
We're courting.
Oh, how wonderful. I'm so happy for you. But did he mention that it's your character who fights and detains the killer clown?
Yes.
Well, that was me. I saved that young woman's life, not to mention my own.
Of course. But there's only room for one heroine.
Quiet, everyone.
Oh.
It is time.
We are prepared. We are ready. Quiet, please.
Exciting, isn't it?
Roll the camera. Camera is rolling. Slate in. Slate out. Cue the lights. And begin. You hear the telephone. Rise and cross. Good. Good. And answer. Hello?
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 But no one is there. It's just music. How odd. Replace the receiver. And the doorbell. Oh my. Whoever could that be? Now go to the door. Confused. Good. Pause. And now open the door. And... Oh no! It's a clown! You're scared! Now he's inside and you're terrified. Where's Perry? Call for him.
Perry! Perry, where are you?
And the knife. Good, good. And when it's on her, she is scared. And attack! Yes. Yes. And again.
This is
And
awfully
now,
real.
retreat. And we hold.
No, something is wrong.
Julia!
Miss, are you all right? Miss. It's real. The blood is real. She's dead.
What in God's name? Constables are searching everywhere for a man in a clown costume. Jack Richards, no sign as yet.
It was so awful, William. We just sat there and watched as he killed this poor girl.
Miss Cherry, did you know the killer, Jack Richards?
I met him briefly. Claude knew him. Detective, this is Claude Cordier, the director.
Did you know Mr. Richards well?
We've worked together many times.
Had he ever displayed any unusual behavior?
Nothing like this.
What was his relationship like with the deceased?
Well, as far as I know, they'd only just met.
Can you think of any reason why he would want to kill her?
Certainly not.
Thank you, Mr. Cordier. Oh, and I'll be needing this film.
What's all this bloody nonsense, McNabb? Halloween gets worse every year. Oh, I like the owl, though. Other Wednesday. Oh, bloody hell.
Sorry, sir.
Where'd you get that? Scared the life out of me.
Well, they sell them all over town. Half the city's dressing as a clown this year, sir. Because of the clown killing all those people last year.
How charming.
It's funny.
It's not funny, Henry. The clown killings have resumed. The killer, Jack Richards, is an actor who was playing the killer clown.
Wasn't the clown a pair of sisters?
Movie magic, or so I'm told.
Does this new killer know them?
There seems to be no direct connection aside from the film and the story. Heather and Lee Iverson have been sentenced and are in prison awaiting their hangings.
A copycat, then? No sign of him?
Constables have his photograph and are searching the streets as we speak. In the meantime, I have evidence of the killing itself.
Murdoch, don't you have your own tailor?
Oh, I was going to surprise Julia with a Halloween costume this year, but it seems I'll be working. Here we are.
What is it?
His shoe.
Something on it? Dirt? Mud?
Blood?
I'm responsible for every piece of every costume. I would never have allowed him in front of the camera with dirty shoes.
When was the last time you saw him, prior to the scene?
A few minutes before. There was nothing on his shoe.
Where might Mr. Richards have gone while he waited for the scene to begin?
There's a small dressing room down the hall there.
Oh. Thank you, Miss Canmore. Henry. Have you found anything?
No sign of anything that could have mussed up his shoes, sir.
Right, come with me.
Sir, I hesitate to state the obvious, but this man murdered someone. Does it really matter how his shoes got dirty?
You could be right, Henry. Maybe nothing.
Sir, get him off me! Get him off me!
Henry, this is Jack Richards.
He was hit on the head, likely hard enough to knock him out.
And what about the other blood?
Stabbed multiple times.
So presumably the killer knocked him out, stole his costume, then stabbed him. This is looking more and more like the killings from last year. I hate to admit it, but they'll likely kill again.
5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 2 parlors, 2 telephones, and a swimming pool.
It's marvelous. It's rather grand for one person, isn't it?
Claude and I will soon marry.
Oh?
There's no telling how many additions to the family will follow.
It's hard to imagine Louise Cherry as a family woman.
Would have said the same thing about Julia Ogden not too long ago. Oh, beg your pardon. Hello? Hello, is someone there? Is this some sort of joke? What? What is that? Hello? Hello?
What was it? What was that?
I don't know. A voice? Low?
What did they say?
He said, fire cleans the sins.
Do you think it could have been the killer?
I need to check the doors.
Easy, easy. Please. What's the matter?
I thought
We just had a call. We think it could have been the killer.
Fire cleans the sins. And that's all he said?
Yes. He spoke slowly. His voice was distorted.
Distorted how?
Strange, deep, eerie. I've never heard anything quite like it.
And there was no music box like last year.
No, just the voice.
And you have no idea who might have done this?
I wrote the book on this case, Detective. There are countless readers who might want to torment me.
The knife used on both bodies is the same. At least 8 inches in length, 2 inches at its widest point.
Matching the knife that was found by the actress's body.
It's a common size, but it does happen to be identical to the size of the weapon used in last year's murders.
Of course. Thank you, Mrs. Hart.
It's a copycat then, like I said.
But the telephone call to Miss Cherry was lacking any of the hallmarks from last year's calls.
No music box.
And instead, fire cleans the sins, followed by what Miss Cherry describes as terrible moaning.
We've got 2 dead actors and a threat to the right of Miss Cherry. It must have something to do with the moving picture.
Every person that was on that film set is a suspect, and I have constables guarding each of the cast members, save for one who's unaccounted for, a Jesse Fraser playing one of the teener victims.
He could be at risk.
Or could be the killer.
Sirs, I checked the finger marks on the murder weapon against those of the suspects in last year's killings. We have a match.
Who?
That's the thing, sir. It isn't one of the suspects per se. It's one of the killers.
What? How's that possible?
I don't know, sir, but the finger marks belong to Lee Iverson.
The murders happened on the set of a film based on Louise Cherry's book.
They're making a movie about us?
Yes.
Oh, my. Did you hear that, Heather?
The killer used the same murder weapon that you used last year. In fact, your finger marks were on it.
Were they?
Do you have any idea how that came to be?
I'm locked up, Detective. They refuse to hang us, you know. They say we're too mad.
I'm aware that you aren't the killer, Miss Iverson. But did you perhaps give the knife to someone prior to your incarceration?
We had many knives.
And what about you, Miss Iverson?
Why should we tell you anything?
I'd prefer if your sister answered.
She can't.
Why not?
Custodian left some cleaning solution. She tried to kill herself again. The acid only burned away at her throat.
I'm sorry. Please answer the question.
I remember the knife. I know where it is. Before I tell you, I want you to do something for us.
What?
We'd like to see the movie.
That's not possible. It isn't finished yet. Someone was murdered during the filming. I can provide you with other scenes if you like.
What scene were they filming? When the murder happened?
The reenactment of your first murder.
Irene.
Yes.
We enjoyed that one. How was this girl killed?
I can't disclose.
Detective. How can I trust you with what I know about the knife if you won't trust me with the details of the murder?
She was stabbed during the filming of the scene. The killer wore a facsimile of your clown costume.
How many times?
I beg your pardon?
How many times was she stabbed?
Several.
And everyone watched her die.
Yes.
I left the knife in my house. It was hidden in the pantry beside the stove.
So this is the Iverson house?
It's been boarded up since we found the parents' bodies inside. Apparently, no one's wanted to buy it.
Small wonder. If the knife's already gone, what are we hoping to find?
Perhaps whoever took it has left some evidence behind. There's no knife in the pantry, sir. We'll need to look for finger marks.
Food. And this tea's won't.
Someone's here.
Hello. How kind of you to stop by and visit me at home.
What is your name, miss?
Lee Iverson.
Lee Iverson is in an asylum. She's a murderer.
I'm not in an asylum. I live with my sister in our parents' house.
I see. And where is your sister now? That house is empty. It's abandoned because the Iverson sisters don't live there anymore.
No.
You're playing the role of Lee Iverson in a movie. Your name is Alma Greenway.
Yes.
Then why are you pretending to be Lee Iverson?
Because I want to be Lee Iverson. I want to feel everything that she feels so that I can become her on screen.
Miss Greenway, how long have you been living in the Iverson house?
A few weeks.
Did you happen to find a knife in the pantry?
What knife?
A large kitchen knife.
No.
Well, someone has. And it's likely that someone used that knife to kill two people on the set of your film, acting as Lee Iverson. So you can see why you make a very compelling suspect.
Do you know when we'll resume filming?
Thank you, Detective. I knew I could trust you.
I'll see to it that the warden provides you with a film projector. Now, do either of you know a Miss Alma Greenway?
Who?
She's an actress. She was to play you in the film. Do you recognize her?
What do you think?
Miss Iverson, please. This woman has been living in your old home. She impersonates you. She seems to believe that she is you.
You think she's the killer?
That's what I'm trying to ascertain.
You're smarter than that, Detective. Look at her. She's a fake.
That doesn't mean she isn't the murderer.
Of course it does.
In my experience, anyone can kill if the circumstances are right.
This killer isn't just anyone. This killer looked into the dying eyes of a human being and stabbed her again and again until the light went out.
You've only seen her photograph. How do you know what she's capable of?
She writes to us. Her letters expose her nature. She's a rich little daddy's girl pretending that life is hard.
What's this?
The letters.
From Miss Greenway.
Amongst others, we have many admirers.
This holiday's too much bloody trouble.
That's just a bit of fun, sir. What harm is there in dressing up and getting into a little mischief?
Everybody's dressed as a clown. What? What? I don't have any bloody candy. What is it?
Sir, look. Is that it?
Yes, it is. Call the fire brigade, Higgins.
Sir.
Everyone get away. Now.
Judging by the width of the pelvis, I believe he's a male. But the body is too badly burned to clean anything else at this stage.
Do you think there's any chance of determining the cause of death?
I'm not optimistic, but I will continue with the postmortem.
Miss Greenway's in our cells. Does this mean she's not our killer?
I suppose she could have killed whoever this is prior to our arresting her.
I'll do my best to determine the time of death.
Thank you, Mrs. Hart. It may be a late night.
Fire cleans the sins.
Miss Cherry's caller. Do you think he was talking about this?
If he was, what was this man's sin?
All right, that's enough.
Come, Louise. We'll marry soon enough.
And I am saving myself until that time has come to pass. You're not cross with me, are you?
On the contrary, this is precisely why I adore you so. You're not like the other woman I've courted.
Should hope not. Not like one of your actresses.
Indeed. I love you, Louise Cherry.
Oh. Who am I?
Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to freshen up.
Hello? Who is this? Why are you calling me?
You have to die. You all have to die.
Hello? Claude? Claude, you were out of the room last time he called. If you have anything to do with this, I swear I will. Did you make that call? You didn't. Did you kill those people? Damn it, Claude, answer me!
When he calls, talk to him for as long as possible.
The longer that you can keep him talking, the better chance
chance for you of getting to him before he ends up and runs off.
Appeal to him. Ask him what he wants. Tell him what he wants to hear. But whatever you do, keep him on the line.
I'm a journalist. I know how to get people to talk.
Miss Cherry, we can suspend our endeavor if you are in need of sleep.
I want this to be over. I sit by the telephone for days and
Operator, we're on.
Hello? Hello, who is this?
You know who this is.
Tell me what you want. I can help.
I want you to die.
Why? Why do you want me dead?
You know what you did.
What did I do?
What was that?
Nothing.
Who's there?
I knocked something over. No. Hello? Hello?
The forwarding operator lost the caller. He was routed to another exchange.
We were so close.
I'm sorry, sir. I did not.
I thought I told you to get rid of that bloody mask.
It was an accident, sir.
Oh, we're on again, right?
Hello?
I know who you're with.
I'm not with anyone.
Liar. You think you're so innocent, but you're not.
You're right. So let me tell the truth for once. Let me tell your story. The world deserves to hear it.
Yes, brilliant.
Just tell me what you want. Tell me who you are. What was that?
Excellent work, Miss Cherry. We have the address.
No one. You ran off before we got here.
You must have known we were coming. Whose house is this?
We're looking into it. Crikey, look at all this stuff. The killer left plenty of evidence behind.
Sir, this is a child's toy and it's coupled to the telephone. Hello.
Disguising his voice.
These papers and articles are filled with information about last year's murders.
Correspondence?
Yes.
From who?
Unsigned. But they all appear to be from the same person. They're collaborating with the killer, providing him with information, encouraging him.
Encouraging him to kill?
Oh my.
What's this?
A piece of correspondence between you and the clown killer.
That's impossible. I didn't write that.
It bears your signature, and the handwriting is a match.
Someone must have copied it.
In it, you explicitly request
I didn't write it.
the author explicitly requests that the clown kill Claude Cordier.
Why would I want Claude dead?
The author says that Cordier was a sinner and that he had betrayed you.
He would never.
He was having an affair with Frances Turner, the young woman playing you in the film.
Frances. She adored Claude, but he was finished with her ages ago.
So you don't believe they were continuing to see one another?
No.
Therefore, you have no reason to doubt Mr. Cordier's loyalty to you.
None.
Then why were you so unaffected by his death?
What do you mean?
You saw the man killed before your own eyes. You pulled the knife out of his back.
My emotions are my own. I reveal them only when I choose to do so.
Miss Cherry, all of this correspondence appears to be from you, petitioning the recipient to adopt the clown killer persona and continue with the murders.
Why would I do that?
You say so yourself. You needed another hit book. With you at the center, you were writing your own sequel.
You believe her?
Miss Cherry has proven time and again that she's willing to sacrifice her morals for her career.
If she was behind it, why did the killer nearly murder her in her own home?
It's also suspicious that the caller knew to flee before we arrived and conveniently left a mound of evidence specifically implicating her.
Gentlemen?
Ah, Mrs. Hart.
Have you completed the postmortem on our burn victim?
I have. The fire burned him so badly there was little left to learn, but his left arm fared better than his right. The top layer of skin was charred, but underneath I found scar tissue.
What kind of scar?
A neat slice on his left forearm.
Left forearm, you say?
That's correct.
I'll need a photograph of that scar, Mrs. Hart.
Oh, of course.
The scars are the same.
Meaning?
This is a photograph that we took last year of Perry Balfour's arm. Irene Robbins' paramour. He was there when she was killed, but if you recalled, he was too scared to do anything and then inflicted this wound on his own arm.
Irene Robbins was the clown's first victim last year.
And the clown's first victim this year is the woman who played her in the film.
So she's the connection. Someone's avenging her death.
And anyone who exploited it, such as the writer of the book, the director of the film.
Have Higgins look into her family and friends. One of them may be the killer.
There is something else, sir. I've been reading the letters that the Iverson sisters received. Admittedly, most of them are from admirers who are smitten with them, but one is different. The writer vows revenge and wrote, "You all must die."
Just like the caller. Anonymous?
Unfortunately, yes. But the Iverson sisters may have some idea of the author's identity.
Right, I need to see to Miss Greenway.
The actress?
The same. Her father's a Crown attorney. He wants his daughter out of the cells. And we've got no reason to hold her, given that she was locked up when Miss Cherry's beau was killed.
She may not be the killer, but she could be in danger.
I'll keep an eye on her.
You recognize this letter?
What does it say?
It's from someone who accuses you of murdering their child. Unfortunately, it's anonymous.
So you no longer believe the actress did it?
No. The killings have continued.
How would I know more than what you're seeing in front of you?
And perhaps whoever wrote you this letter has written you others.
I told you, Detective. Lots of people write to us. Maybe whoever wrote it is a parent, or maybe they're just a lunatic.
What's this?
What's what?
Guard!
Oh,
Guard!
nothing.
Turn on the lights! Good God. What have you done?
It's what she wanted.
Sir? Sir, are you all right?
Henry. Yes. What have you?
Irene Robbins' family left Toronto after the murder. They moved to Hamilton.
Have you been able to contact them?
Not directly, sir. They don't have a telephone in their home. But I was able to track down Mr. Robbins' employer. He worked a full shift today at Woodbridge Electric Company. Sir?
Henry, part of this contraption, yes, it was made in that factory.
But, sir, he was at work all day.
Perhaps his employer was mistaken. Henry, go and find the inspector and alert him. I'll telephone the Hamilton police and have them go around to the Robbins home.
Yes, sir. The Robbins file's on my desk.
Miss Greenway, I'd feel much more comfortable escorting you to your home.
This is my home.
Your real home.
I feel comfortable here. Thank you, Inspector. Now, when can I have my clothes back?
Your clown costume is evidence. Constable Evans here will keep an eye on you till the morning.
Ma'am.
There's no one there.
Bloody hell, she's gone. Evans?
Yes, Robbins. Robbins. That's right. Thank you, Detective.
Stop! Any sign of her?
No, sir.
She's gone.
Do you think she might be the killer, sir?
There's no telling what's going on.
It's only me, sir.
Bloody hell, Higgins. Did you see Miss Greenway?
No, sir.
Is this what Irene would have wanted? Your daughter was murdered, and that isn't right. But would she want her father to become a murderer? Stop!
Stop! Stop! Toronto Constabulary, stop! Henry, there he is! Grab him!
Catherine Canmore?
You're the costume lady.
No. You're Irene Robbins' mother.
That's right. And she would have wanted me to kill every last one of them. I don't regret a thing. I wanted everyone involved in Irene's death to pay. Starting with that coward who watched her die.
Perry Balfour.
You should have seen his face. He knew what he'd done. When the knife went in, he knew he deserved it.
Why go after the others? They didn't murder your daughter.
They sought money and fame, paid for with Irene's blood. I had to stop them.
And yet you didn't pursue the killers themselves. It was Lee Iverson and her sister who killed your daughter.
You were supposed to hang them. You failed her. That's why I came for you.
I'm only tasked with arresting criminals and providing evidence to the Crown.
They should be dead. 4 bodies. All your fault, Detective. I hope it was enough. I hope Irene can rest now.
Revenge, plain and simple.
There is one question that remains, sir. Why concoct evidence implicating Louise Cherry?
She blamed Cherry as much as the rest of the victims.
That's why she tried to kill her. Why do both?
Sirs, bad news. We found another body. It's Jesse Fraser.
The actor that we couldn't find.
He was found stabbed in an alley a few blocks from the film set.
When? How long has he been dead?
A witness saw a clown run from the scene about an hour ago.
Mrs. Robbins could have done it before we arrested her.
Sir, she only confessed to 4 murders. The 2 actors, Perry Balfour, Mr. Cordier, Mr. Fraser would make 5.
Maybe she didn't kill this one.
Or maybe she didn't kill one of the others.
Then someone else is out there killing.
Are you going to be all right, Louise?
I don't know. I just can't believe that Claude is gone.
It's truly awful.
I never should have written that book. His house, everything it bought. It's blood money.
You can't blame yourself. You're a victim of this madness.
Louise!
Louise, are you all right?
No. Are you?
You're badly hurt. Let's get you to the hospital.
Not yet. Who the hell are you? Francis. You killed Claude, didn't you?
You're damn right I did. And now, I'll kill you!
What the hell is wrong with you?
He left me for you because you're so pure and perfect.
How can we get you to the hospital?
I want you dead! You sir!
So, you've resumed filming already.
We're about to. The show must go on, as they say.
All new actors?
Hardly had any choice there.
Who's going to direct?
Me. It's what Claude would have wanted.
You know how to do that?
It's just telling people what to do. How hard can it be? Oh, and tell William thank you.
Oh, for what?
He gave me an idea. I'm going to write the sequel.
Well, it might be difficult to recapture the success of the original. However, in light of us vanquishing Miss Turner together, I imagine there might be a character based on me.
I think it will play better if I just kill her myself. What are we waiting on? Why aren't we rolling?
William, I'm home.
Oh, stay right there.
Whatever are you doing back there?
It's a little Halloween surprise.
Well, Halloween was weeks ago.
I wanted to do something special, and we were both a little preoccupied.
Well, hurry up, whatever it is. And where is Susanna? Oh, my.
Thank you for coming. What do you think?
It's perfect.
Ah, yes.
How I love the English countryside.
Yes, it's like a Jane Austen novel with less courses.
And you are?
Mr. and Mrs. Crabtree.
Oh, yes, our newlyweds. I hope your ride-in was satisfactory.
Splendid. Are you Mr. Cornish?
Mr. Hathaway, I'll be looking after you. Now, let's get you your keys.
Oh, George, look. I can't wait to try authentic English cuisine.
Welsh rabbit.
Rarebit. It's cheese. I think.
Well, we'll have to make dinner reservations as soon as he's back.
Well, wouldn't you like to eat in our room? The Sunrise Suite is the best in the hotel. It's the only one with a private bathroom.
Isn't that the one we agreed was too expensive?
I've been corresponding with Mr. Cornish, and he agreed to offer it to us at no extra charge. The morning view is supposedly spectacular.
Well, I hope we'll find something better to do than watch the sunrise.
Here we are, then. Slatter will lead you to your suite.
Oh, my. How kind of you.
Slatter does not speak English. However, she is fluent in the language of hospitality. Enjoy your stay.
Oh, there seems to be some mistake.
I beg your pardon?
These keys are for the garden suite. Mr. Cornish promised us the Sunrise Suite.
Mr. Cornish has had a convention in Leeds. But it is he who authorized the switch. The garden suite is our top room, with finer amenities and a view of the rose garden. I assure you, your needs will be met.
You're welcome. Was I supposed to give her a tip? How many shillings in a farthing? What's wrong?
This bed feels lumpy, and those creatures are ghastly.
Well, you'll feel better once you take in the rose garden. Come on. What do you think?
I think Mr. Hathaway is pulling a fast one.
You may need to let this go, Effie. I mean, somebody else must have booked this on my suite. There's not much we can do about it now. I think it'll take more than a bottle of wine to pull this off, Effie.
Don't be such a naysayer. I'm sure they'll be happy to switch once they learn we're on our honeymoon.
I don't know why you think this room is going to be any better than ours.
Well, you haven't seen it yet. Faces the sunrise, which is considered good luck.
Yeah, give it a proper policeman's knock.
George, he's dead.
Not so lucky after all.
Oh, postcard from Effie and George.
Oh, where are they now?
They've left Paris and they're due to arrive in Hampshire today. How thrilling it would be to be on your honeymoon.
It certainly was for us. Do you remember that dinner in New York City?
How could I forget? We couldn't keep our eyes off each other.
So much so we almost didn't notice the Oysters Rockefeller arriving.
I suppose it's hard to keep that kind of passion alive. What with Susanna and work.
Do you feel our relationship is lacking passion? Hello. Yes, it is. I'll be right there. Duty calls. Excuse me, miss. I'm looking for room 415.
The man who died.
Yes, you've heard.
I alerted the front desk when he wouldn't answer the door. None of us were surprised when he took his own life. He was acting peculiar.
It was a suicide.
As far as I know. Straight down the hall, second door to your left.
Thank you.
This one seems rather obvious.
An overdosing?
Based on the empty bottle of laudanum and the excess fluid in his throat, I'd say yes.
Do we have a name?
Nathan Cumberland, sir. He arrived last week from Thunder Bay. Told everyone in the hotel that his ship had finally come in.
Meaning?
Some real estate deal, sir. Poor man thought he had tripled his money. He was buying his fellow guests drinks all week and boasting about finally making his wife and child proud.
And his arrangement soured.
Apparently the check he received was fraudulent and his investor flew the coop. The other guests noted a concerning change in his demeanor after that.
Henry, does this man look familiar to you?
Nope. Should he?
I don't know.
Sir, this is Dr. Bellows. He was with the victim when he perished.
You're a doctor?
Yes. Yes, I'm staying at the hotel. They knocked on my door when they found him. I did everything I could.
Was he conscious when you arrived?
Barely. But he did seem to understand me. He willingly took the ipecac I gave him to expel the drugs. Unfortunately, it was too late.
People often have a change of heart when committing self-murder. Assuming that's what this was.
It's likely, sir. He also left this. It appears to be a suicide note.
I am leaving a world I'm not fit to live in. I have failed you as a husband, as a father, and as a fellow human being. It's tragic.
Is there anything else you need from me? I'm afraid I have an appointment.
No, thank you.
Constable Higgins has all my information. Good day.
Seems fairly open and shut, sir. Shall I write it up?
Not quite yet, Henry. There's something I'd like you to do for me.
I trust this will not impact my 8 o'clock dinner reservations. Not if I can help it.
Good evening, my lovelies. I'm sure we've all heard about the incident, but I can assure you everything is fine. His name was Arthur Furlong, a regular at this hotel. It appears he died in his sleep, and his family has been informed. Please enjoy some of our famous house sherry. Compliments of the hotel. And please, let's relax and put this mess behind us.
Good gracious. People drink this of their choice.
Do you think there's a killer among us?
A killer? Effie, did you not just hear what the man said?
Oh, come now. You really believe he died in his sleep? He couldn't have been a day over 50.
People can die at any age.
Mr. Hathaway is clearly in on it. In fact, now that everyone's mingling, it's a perfect time.
Perfect time for what?
To sneak into the room and poke around.
Effie, I'm an officer of the law.
Exactly. All the more reason. If there's a cover-up afoot, it's your duty as an investigator to follow up.
People do seem distracted.
Did I mention that danger makes me amorous?
I'll need your hairpin.
Never seen him before.
Are you certain?
Yes. Why not just close the file and be done with it? Poor bugger clearly offed himself.
He was supposedly swindled by an investor in a real estate scam, but I found no paperwork on his person or any sign of the investor.
You think there was no investor?
Or perhaps there was, but he removed any evidence to cover his tracks.
Sirs, I've searched our files and found no Nathan Cumberland. In fact, there's no record of him anywhere. But in good news, there's a new meat pie shop on Colborne. May I break for lunch?
Actually, I need you to pay a visit to Mrs. Hart at the morgue.
The meat pie shop's in the opposite direction, sir.
You might want to hold off on lunch. I need you to lift finger marks off a corpse.
Oh.
Oh, my. They have a love seat and a piano.
Are you crazy?
There is no chance the garden suite is the top suite in this hotel.
Wait a minute. Are we doing all of this so you could compare suites?
Oh, come on, George. You were curious, too.
I don't believe it. Do you even think this chap was murdered?
Lavender. Smells like the fields of Somerset.
Effie, the door. Get under the bed.
Henry, did you get the finger marks?
Yes, sir. And you were right. Nathan Cumberland is actually Harvey Knowles, and we do have a file on him. Guess who opened it?
Afternoon, Detective.
You know perfectly well I'm no longer a detective.
I do indeed, but I'm hoping I can convince you to play one, at least for an afternoon. I'm looking into a man's death.
You certainly are consistent.
His name is Harvey Knowles.
Who was that chap? Why did he have a gun? What was he doing in here?
George, look. The lavender soap. It's gone.
I suppose even murderers want a supple scent to their skin.
Oh, my God. This is so exciting. Feel my heart. It's pounding.
Wait a minute. A man died on this bed.
Who cares?
before?
It's too warm.
Well, mice don't just die like that. Could it have eaten something?
Wait a minute. Effie, look at this.
That doesn't look right.
This hose has been disconnected.
Do you feel a little nauseous?
Oh my God. It's gas.
That was on purpose, wasn't it?
Someone was venting carbon monoxide into the room.
Well, does this mean what I think it means?
It means you were right the first time. Mr. Furlong didn't die of natural causes. He was murdered.
I can't believe it. There really is a killer among us.
Well, it's too late to alert the authorities, and we're a half day from civilization thanks to your insistence on booking the most remote hotel in the Western Hemisphere.
You're not really still on about that inn in Marseille you were pushing for.
No, I'm sorry. Look, we should work together.
Agreed. We're the only ones we can trust.
Someone's gone to great lengths to make Mr. Furlong's death look accidental.
The Sunrise Suite is the only one with a private bathroom.
Which means it's the only one that can be rigged to emit carbon monoxide.
Ergo, whoever arranged the switch must be in on it.
Mr. Hathaway.
I knew there was something off about him.
He must have made the switch when Mr. Cornish left for Leeds.
And then pretended the idea came from Mr. Cornish himself.
How do we prove it?
I saw a ledger behind the desk. Should tell us everything.
How do we get it without Hathaway seeing?
I have an idea.
Mrs. Crabtree, are you enjoying the splendors of the garden suite?
Oh, indeed, indeed. Now, who's this?
That's Mr. Cornish.
There seem to be many photos of him and none of you.
Not all of us are as vain as he.
You don't like him, do you? Are you jealous that he's been invited to a convention in Leeds while you're stuck here?
I wouldn't wish Leeds on anyone, least of all myself. Besides, Mr. Cornish has seniority over me, thus it was the logical choice.
Yes, that's one theory. Allow me to posit another. Mr. Cornish was chosen over you because as a manager, he would never have put up with this. We found this in our room. Is this the type of service becoming of your supposed top suite?
Please, keep your voice down.
I will not be silenced. Not until you tell me how a mouse got into my suite.
How about fruit plate? A lovely selection of fruits will be on their way to your room, compliments of the house.
And a cheese plate?
Yes, of course, also complimentary.
And a bottle of Armagnac.
I can arrange some of our fine house sherry.
Armagnac, take or leave. 20 years minimum.
Perhaps I can rustle up a 10.
That may suffice.
And you need to promise to keep this little incident under wraps.
That'll depend on how quickly we get the goods. Chop, chop.
I employed Harvey Knowles on occasion as an informant. He used to run swindles.
Knowles was a con artist.
Charming one at that. Surprised to see him die this way.
You don't believe Knowles took his own life?
I don't believe Knowles would have fallen for a real estate scam.
What makes you so sure?
Well, he would have known what a fraudulent check looked like because he ended up running a fraudulent check scheme himself, which was rather out of character.
How so?
Knowles and his former partner in crime, Bernadette Childs, had a code in which they only swindled those they felt deserved it. They parted ways years earlier.
Did he find another partner?
If he did, that's news to me. Knowles was a solitary figure who kept to himself, and I haven't seen him in over a year.
Well, surely he must have a more current acquaintance that could help us.
No one I know. Although, I do recall a wealthy woman he was courting.
What was her name?
I'm sure I wrote it down somewhere. No, she'd be of little use.
Little is all we have.
I cannot believe it. My beloved Harvey taking his own life.
Did he strike you as depressed?
Oh, heavens, no. But he did strike me as passionate. I can only assume he was burdened by the passing of his beloved Aunt Esther.
Which aunt was this again?
Oh, his favorite, of course. The one who raised him after his parents died in that fire.
Did you know this woman?
We corresponded, often by mail. We never did meet in person, but I suppose it's for the best, given her condition.
Refresh my memory.
Oh, the poor woman suffered from tuberculosis. She was given months to live. But then Harvey found a revolutionary clinic in New York.
New York? That sounds like a costly undertaking.
Oh, it was, but it was worth it. The clinic prolonged her life by years. I was happy to chip in, buoyed by her lovely thank you letters.
These letters she sent, do you by chance still have them?
Good Lord, I knew it.
What is it?
The Sunrise Suite, not the Garden Suite, is the top suite.
That's all well and good, but perhaps we should focus on who switched the rooms.
Right, Constable, we are solving a murder here. This is curious. George, it wasn't Mr. Furlong who took our room.
Who did?
A man named Mr. Castle. And the switch was authorized by Mr. Hathaway, not Mr. Cornish.
Castle, isn't he the chap with the 8 p.m. dinner reservation?
So how did Mr. Castle and Mr. Furlong end up switching rooms?
If Castle was in the Sunrise Suite, where was Furlong?
Arthur Furlong, the Oak Suite.
Does that mean Castle's in the Oak Suite now?
Perhaps Mr. Castle rigged his room to emit carbon monoxide and then convinced Mr. Furlong to switch.
Hell of a way to commit a discreet murder.
Do you think Mr. Castle and Mr. Hathaway could be working together?
I think we need to get into that Oak Suite and see what we can find.
You said he had 8 p.m. dinner reservations?
It's 8:15 now. That room should be empty for another hour at least.
What if we get caught?
Then we pretend we're lost and tip immediately.
Shilling. Now, is that more or less than a farthing?
I don't think anybody knows. Let's get on with it.
Parents who died in a fire. That's quite the yarn.
Sometimes the bigger the lie, the easier it is to tell. Well, just as I suspected, the handwriting in Aunt Esther's thank you letters matches that of Harvey Knowles' suicide note.
He was posing as the grateful aunt to keep those checks coming.
Something tells me it isn't the first time he's pulled this scheme.
Leaving a number of potential victims with motive for murder.
The question is, where did he send these from? Certainly not New York, given the Ontario stamp.
Aha. Oh, Miss Alcock is not the sharpest tool in the shed. What's that?
A mistake?
Seems oddly placed for a mistake.
Is that some sort of flower?
A lily. Did I not see that on the sign at Hotel Florentine?
I'll have Henry connect with the concierge.
Oh, that is so not fair. This room has a chaise lounge.
Effie, focus.
Right.
Do you see anything unusual?
Only that Mr. Castle has exceptional taste in clothes. This is one of the most finely tailored shirts I've ever seen. Feel this.
GR hardly stands for Ernest Castle.
Oh my.
Good Lord, his soap collection costs more than my entire wardrobe. Is that a gun case? Where's the gun?
What a tragedy. Poor Granville.
Granville?
Oh, Granville Barrington. He was a favorite guest at the Florentine. Every guest was charmed and delighted by him. He was quite the character.
When did he stay there?
It must have been 2 months ago. He came in to cash in on a real estate deal, but unfortunately, the investor bamboozled him.
Let me guess, he gave Granville a fraudulent check and left town?
Why, yes. He took it very hard. He tried to end his own life. We were very grateful for having a doctor at the hotel.
Who administered Ipecac in order to expel the laudanum he'd ingested?
Right again. He was quite deceived. Everyone expected to see one would survive. The doctor even spearheaded a charity drive to get him back on his feet. And everyone chipped in.
The doctor who gave him the Ipecac, do you remember his name?
Bellows. Dr. Gordon Bellows.
What's your business with Mr. Carson?
Well, you know, really, we were just interested in the layout of the room, and oh, you should see the soap.
George!
What? Get. I'm going to ask you one last time. What exactly is your business with Mr. Castle?
You're not Mr. Castle. You're George V, the King of England. GR, George Rex for the King. That's why you had those initials in your undergarments.
You saw my undergarments?
I can't believe we're sitting here with the King of England.
Keep your voice down. He is the king, and he could have you charged with treason.
So what are you doing in Hampshire?
I am much more interested in why the two of you are here.
We came for the lovely foliage and the world-class buffet.
I mean, why you are here in my room.
Your Majesty, please accept our humble apologies. I'm George Crabtree with the Toronto Constabulary, and I'm here on honeymoon with my wife, Effie.
You're a police officer.
In Canada, that's right.
Police or no police, you still need to explain why you are in my room.
Well, the truth is, Your Majesty, we found evidence that Arthur Furlong, the man staying in the Sunrise Suite, was murdered.
Carbon monoxide. Somebody tampered with the gas heater in his ensuite bathroom.
We were curious only because we were initially assigned that room.
If this is true, Your Majesty, our worst fears are confirmed.
What you're about to hear must be kept in the strictest of confidence, by order of the Crown.
Yes, Your Majesty.
The reason my valet Wadsworth and I are traveling incognito is to visit my troubled son, Edward, who is honing his academics at a special school in Portsmouth. It was a risk I was willing to take, even given the presence of the Black Chalice. The Black Chalice is a secretive organization pushing back on my plans to reform the hereditary peerage.
We've long suspected that there might be members in these parts, and evidently we were right.
You see, Wadsworth secured me the hotel's top suite, which we must have unknowingly taken from you. I was unable to take my afternoon nap on account of my grievous moosophobia.
Moosophobia? Is that a British affliction?
His Majesty is fearful of mice.
So I fled my suite.
And neglected to inform me.
And happened upon Mr. Furlong enjoying a cigar in the garden. I explained my situation, and he offered to switch, since my room was clearly superior. Now that we know the room had been tampered with, the only conclusion is that we were the target.
We?
His Majesty is using the royal we.
So what is our plan?
We will do nothing.
But there's a murderer out there.
Given that their first attempt was a failure, they're unlikely to strike again tonight, so long as they assume we're not onto them. Now, please, return to your room and pretend you know nothing. I will arrange for His Majesty to be escorted to safety at dawn.
You will remember me only as Ernest Castle, and you will never speak of this again.
I checked with the Canadian Medical Registry. Dr. Gordon Bellows has been dead for 5 years.
The person posing as him has procured a pretty penny off his name.
It's quite the brilliant scheme he and his partner Knowles had going. Knowles would check into a hotel posing as a man whose ship had come in.
And his partner in crime, posing as Dr. Bellows, would show up several days later.
Then Knowles would reveal that his windfall had backfired and made clear that he intended to take his own life, going so far as to ingest laudanum.
Dr. Bellows would be called in and use Ipecac to expel the laudanum, creating a scene so authentic no one would dare question it.
The perfect opening to mount an appeal for money in Knowles' name, and then milking the hotel guests for everything they're worth.
He probably volunteered a large portion of his own money from the very first time they pulled this con.
Well, Harvey Knowles' murder seems to be coming into sharper focus.
Apparently, the swindler got swindled. His partner likely offed him to keep all the money.
Let's get a sketch of this medical imposter straight away.
I'll connect with our sketch artist and make sure Henry distributes it all over town.
One thing that bothers me. Hotel guests saw the doctor give the victim Ipecac. Why didn't it work?
Once I deliver the sketch, I'll drop in on Mrs. Hart at the morgue.
Do you mind if I tag along?
You're not getting paid.
The King of England. Can you believe that just happened?
No, nor will anyone else. No one will believe this happened to us.
George, if Mr. Hathaway is a member of the Black Chalice, do you think he's working alone?
We need to keep our voices down. We made a promise to the crown.
Then I suppose we have no choice but to get back to why we came here in the first place.
As suspected, his blood was saturated with opium and alcohol, the main ingredients in laudanum.
Why wasn't it expelled? Witnesses saw Knowles be administered Ipecac.
They might have seen him take some kind of syrup, but it wasn't Ipecac. I found traces of starches and sugars, nothing else.
Could our fake doctor have switched the Ipecac for a placebo syrup?
If he did, he's guilty of murder.
You're welcome.
Hathaway can't be working alone. I bet she's in on it.
Maybe they're all in on it. Should we follow her?
Julia?
Hello, stranger.
What's all this?
Do you recognize this dress?
It's lovely. Should I?
I wore it on our honeymoon. The night we couldn't take our eyes off each other. The nanny has taken Susanna to the park. We have some time to kill.
Julia, I must admit, you've caught me off guard.
Hello? Yes. Which intersection? I'll be right there.
Julia, a man matching Dr. Bellows' description has been spotted. We'll have to delay our date, but only a little.
It was there, in the ruins of Thebes, where we found the lost tomb of Asclepius and discovered the healing properties of its sands. Sprinkle a few grains in your bed and watch as back pain, rheumatism, and arthritis disappear overnight. This miracle of the East can be yours for less than the cost of... Terribly sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We've just run out.
Seems curious that they need to lock the coal room.
Unless it serves some other purpose, like secret meeting room for the Black Chalice.
Yes, I've engaged in a swindle or two in my time to make ends meet, but I'm not a murderer.
You gave your partner a benign syrup when he was expecting Ipecac.
Harvey was like a brother to me. Why would I want him dead?
To reap his half of the profits, for starters.
We were going to pull our hotel con in every province in the country, and we hadn't even finished Ontario yet. Yes, Detective Harvey was a financial windfall to me, but more important, he was my best friend. I am as devastated and confused by his death as everyone else is. May I please leave now? Thank you, gentlemen. I think I can take it from here.
Off he goes to swindle again.
Most likely. You have to admit, his story rings true.
I don't disagree. Why go through lengths to switch the Ipecac when he could have ignored the call in the first place?
Unless someone else switched it without his knowledge.
But who would have access to his room? Friend?
Perhaps this warrants another visit to the hotel.
I don't think the Black Chalice are holding any meetings in here.
Let's just pretend to get some coal and go back to our room.
Well, we could if we had a coal shovel.
You lost it, remember?
No, dear, you lost it. In any case, I'll get some firewood.
Georgie, I hate to bring this up, but it was you who lost the shovel.
No, Effie, I clearly remember you had it when you were saying it felt drafty.
No, I distinctly... Ah! Oh my God! Oh my God! It's Mr. Cornish.
I guess you didn't make it to that convention in Leeds after all.
Your Majesty.
Mr. Castle, we hate to bother you, but we've got a bit of a situation.
This had better be good.
While collecting firewood, my wife and I discovered the body of Mr. Cornish.
The day manager? No, he's at a convention in Leeds.
No, he's in the coal room. He's been garroted.
Proof positive that Mr. Hathaway is a member of the Black Chalice.
And Zlata, too, no doubt. She had a key to the room.
I reckon the whole hotel is in on it.
Well, this changes everything. The assailants are going to know that we're onto them. This may trigger a response.
We need to leave now.
Agreed. But Mr. Hathaway is likely to be Black Chalice. You two newlyweds are going to need to help us by creating a distraction so that we can slip away to the stables.
How are we supposed to do that?
What a petty hotel squabble should do the trick. 10 minutes tops is all we need, but it'll need to feel authentic.
Can we count on you two?
I don't understand. I thought Mr. Cumberland took his own life.
His name was Harvey Knowles, and all is not what it seems. We need to know who among your staff would have access to room 415.
This is a small private hotel, and I run a very tight ship. The only ones with access would be myself and my cleaner, Mabel. And I, for one, never left my desk.
Well, then we'll need to speak with your cleaner. I ran into her the morning that Mr. Knowles' body was found.
Of course. She's right over there. Mabel? A word?
Oh, this is not the woman that I met. Do you employ a different cleaner?
Not for the last 20 years.
The Crabtrees. How delightful. Did you enjoy the Armagnac?
Oh, do not play nice with us, Hathaway. We were shocked to learn that the garden suite is not, in fact, your top suite, and we demand to know why you gave it away to Mr. Castle.
Yes, we're oh so upset. And when I say we, I of course mean her.
Are we not a unified front on this?
Unified.
Oh, good Lord, George. Why did I ever marry you?
No, I don't know. That's a good question. If you love the Sunrise Suites much, perhaps you should marry
Nothing to
it.
say. Have you lost your mind? Like you lost your little shovel?
Carry on. Lost the shovel. I'm the loser of all things,
Yes, you
aren't I?
lose things, George. You're about to lose the best thing that ever happened to you.
Oh, well, maybe that wouldn't be such a bad thing to lose after all. I didn't mean that last part. Urgent message from Mr. Castle. Wadsworth is compromised.
It wasn't supposed to get messy like this. All I had to do was authorize a room change, and they would do the dirty work. Oh, well. In for a penny, in for a pound.
Found the shovel. Effie, a telegram came through. Wadsworth is in on it. We need to warn the king.
Yes, a much more delicate nose.
How's this?
That's it. Let's get this picture up all over town straight away.
That may not be necessary. That's Bernadette Childs.
Harvey Knowles' former partner?
Yes, and I know where I might find her.
Your Majesty. Your Majesty.
We won't be needing this anymore.
Old habits die hard, huh, Bernadette?
Hello, Llewellyn. How'd you find me?
Every creature has a modus operandi, even a rat.
Is that all I am to you? A rat? I was your most valuable informant. We had interesting conversations back in the day. Me and you.
And Harvey Knowles, fellow con you once called a friend. Why did you do it?
Harvey broke the golden rule. A con capitalizes on greed, lust, vanity, but never human kindness. I couldn't sit by while he and his new partner swindled hotel guests who were only trying to be kind.
You speaking of rules is the very definition of irony.
Come on, Llewellyn. You once agreed with me on this. And it wasn't just the hotel guests Harvey swindled. It was his lover, his family, even me. A new partner of his must have rotted his brain.
So, that's why you switched the syrup? So Harvey would rot in a casket while his partner in crime rotted in jail?
It was protecting our livelihood. He crossed the line. There's a code.
There is indeed. Which is why you need to come with me.
Thank you for the gun, Mr. Crabtree. I'm so sorry you're about to use it to unknowingly assassinate the king. You know, I wasn't sure what to do with you two at first. And then the perfect narrative presented itself. An epic fight over the Sunrise Suite.
That'll never work. You'd have to kill us too.
Precisely. Your authentic bickering is going to lend credence to my upcoming report. And it's going to confirm that you knocked Mr. Hathaway out. You stole his gun, and then you went after the man who unjustly took your honeymoon suite. Thanks to His Majesty's famous lust for guns, it is the only logical explanation as to why I found 3 dead bodies in the unfortunate aftermath of this shootout.
You're welcome.
I owe the both of you my eternal gratitude. I'd knight you if I could, but unfortunately, I think this must be kept under wraps.
We understand, Your Majesty.
I know it's not much, but please accept this small token as a measure of my appreciation.
My goodness. Your Majesty, thank you.
I've also secured you something else. For your remaining time at this hotel, the Sunrise Suite is yours.
Even better than knighthood.
I must say, Detective, solving a case again was quite satisfying.
For me and you both.
Can I interest you in a celebratory cocktail?
Alas, other plans are afoot. But I do hope we get to do this again, Watts. Soon.
Yes.
Told you this suite was lucky.
Julia?
William, I'm glad to see you back.
Oh, it's good to be back.
I'm sorry about before. I know how busy you are, and it was just a silly romantic notion. I should know that we can't just bring back the past.
Oh, I wouldn't exactly say that.
William, oysters Rockefeller. Like our honeymoon dinner in New York.
Only this time we'll definitely notice them arriving.
You remembered our song.
Of course. It was the greatest night of my life.
Well, the night is still young.
She'll be fine.
Watch yourself.
Oh dear. Are you all right?
Where are you going? Mate, mind where you're walking.
Oh, Scott. Yes.
Hold on to there.
Are you all right?
What do you want?
What have you done to me?
I didn't do anything.
You liar! You did this to me! Let go!
Are you all right?
Bloody hell, man, what do you think you're doing?
I have to go. There's no more time.
Dear God, he's getting worse. You ready for today?
I am indeed. This is a rare treat.
A gift from Mrs. Hart, and one deserving of the day. Frank Rhodes is finally going to trial.
Yes, and I'm the one who gets to put him away.
Not just you. There's an eyewitness.
Yes, but I'll be delivering the coup de grâce. They're still warm.
William, every Monday morning you buy those scones, and every Monday morning I refuse them. You know I loathe those things.
It's our loss. Well, we will celebrate tonight.
You don't usually relish in an execution.
This time I'm willing to make an exception.
Let's continue. Politics in Canada.
Ah, Murdoch. I'm off to court in an hour. I'm just going through the final details with Mr. Bent.
Hello, Nigel Bent.
Detective?
You're worried.
No. You all right? Perhaps a bit jittery. It's not every day you have to face Frank Rhodes.
All you have to do is tell the truth about what you saw.
And that was? I saw Frank Rhodes choke the life out of Wallace Franklin, the prison guard.
Then I will support your testimony. I will give an account of my associations with Frank Rhodes. I will tell of his misdeeds, his kidnapping of my wife, my daughter, and together we will ensure that...
No. Get away. Leave me alone. What is it, Mr. Bent? No. Look, get away from me.
Mr. Bent, please.
Bloody hell. What just happened, Murdoch?
I have no idea. Delayed?
Just 24 hours.
They allowed Rhodes that liberty.
I requested it.
You? Why?
Because my key witness is now in the morgue. Mr. Bent's testimony was the linchpin in our case against Frank Rhodes. Now we need time to strategize now that the late Mr. Bent is no longer part of it.
You have Murdoch?
Yes, and his testimony might be enough, but I would rather do due diligence to ensure a conviction. Would you not agree?
The man threatened my wife and child. Do what you have to secure a conviction. One more day shouldn't make a difference.
Gentlemen.
Anything I say now would be speculation.
Well, then speculate.
From outward appearance, he appears to be in good health.
He's dead. So I'd say in this case, outward appearances are most certainly deceiving.
I understand that, and I will be performing a thorough examination once you gentlemen leave me in peace.
Blood tests?
I collected samples. We'll try to figure out what caused such a seizure. How was he acting before he died?
Agitated. I also believe he was experiencing hallucinations.
I see. And how long had that been going on for?
He had been acting funny.
Funny how?
He lost his balance a few times. Started saying he was seeing things.
Was your husband a drinking man?
My husband was teetotal. Believed drink to be the devil's brew.
When did these symptoms begin occurring?
Just yesterday morning. At first, he thought it was nothing.
So just recently, then?
Just over 24 hours ago. I told him to say nothing about this. And you people forced him to...
We asked him to do his duty.
And see where that got him.
You have to entertain the possibility that someone did Mr. Bent harm.
Oh, I'm already of that opinion.
Well, at least it couldn't have been Rhodes.
Sir, I wouldn't necessarily think that. We have to consider Frank Rhodes. His reach extends far beyond his prison cell.
Here you are, sir. What have you got there? Names and addresses of Rhodes' most recent associates. Only a couple in Toronto.
We have to consider Rhodes, sir, behind bars or not.
Bring him in.
We've only found one so far, sir. Anderson and McNabb are looking for the others.
Learning to delegate, are you, Higgins?
Just laziness, sir. Here you are, sir. Sorry, sir. Butterfingers.
Trial is delayed?
Just until tomorrow or the next day at the latest.
How did the man die?
I'm hoping Mrs. Hart can provide those answers.
What do you think?
He may have ingested a foreign substance.
Poisoning?
Perhaps.
Well, it's a good thing we still have you to put him away.
It's reassuring to know I'm not the only one interested in vengeance.
He threatened Susanna, William. That alone has exhausted my capacity for mercy.
Nigel Bent. Can't say I met the fella. Who is he?
Currently a possible murder victim.
Well, I don't know anything about that. But why would I have an issue with someone I don't even know?
Money? Revenge? Fear? Which one of those?
It could be anyone, I suppose. If I knew the man.
But you do know Frank Rhodes.
Frank Rhodes? Frank Rhodes, no.
Don't act stupid. You two were arrested together years ago.
Oh, him. I haven't talked to Frank in years. Not since he went screwy.
What does that mean?
Ain't been the same since the Black Hand turned their back on him. And let me tell you, if Frank's on the bad side of the Black Hand, I don't want to have anything to do with him. Dead man walking.
So you had nothing to do with Nigel Bent?
Already said as much.
Right.
You all right?
Yes, fine.
There's a good chance that Frank Rhodes could walk away from this, seeing that we've lost our eyewitness.
I'll get him. I have more than enough information on the many crimes that make up Frank Rhodes' life.
None as good as Nigel Bent.
But enough. I'll see to it he ends up where he belongs. Julia, what are you doing here?
I called her.
Why?
You dropped a file. You almost fell to the ground in the interview room. I thought the good doctor should take a look at you.
That's ridiculous. I'm fine.
William, it will only take a moment.
I don't have a moment. I need to find all of the files on Frank Rhodes' crimes and misdemeanors.
Well, you can lead a horse to water.
Keep an eye on him. If you notice anything else, let me know. Men and doctors. Any progress?
None.
No traces of any known agents so far.
So an unknown compound?
Or one that's yet to be identified. Must be lethal if the man's wife is to be believed. From first symptom to death in just over 24 hours.
So you have reason to not believe her?
Excuse me?
Wow. So you think she's lying?
It was just a figure of speech. I apologize.
No, I didn't mean to be short. There's just something about this that's making me feel uneasy. William may be experiencing symptoms.
I see. Well, we should get to the bottom of it then.
Yes. How can I help?
You're not gonna get me. I'm invincible.
No, you're not. I'm going to see you hang.
You'll be well dead before that happens.
No, I won't. You're going to pay, Rhodes.
Not as much as you will.
What have you done to me? What have you...
Sir.
What is it, Higgins?
Look at the detective.
Fetch Dr. Ogden.
Sir.
It's nothing.
That's what you said last time.
I saw you. You were talking to the fairies.
Your temperature's very high, and your heart rate is elevated. How long have you been feeling this way?
I'm not feeling like anything.
William, will you stop lying to me? This could be a very serious situation.
And if it is, I know the source of it.
Stand down, Murdoch.
You can try and stop me.
I have to go to the morgue. I have to find out what's happening to him.
Sir, is Detective Murdoch all right?
He's fine.
Didn't look fine to me.
If I want your opinion, I'll ask for it. Now get me a list of all Frank Rhodes' recent associates.
I already did, sir.
Well, find more. Henry, today's not the day for laziness. Murdoch just might be in real trouble here.
Watch where you're going! Did you see that? What do you think you're doing? What is happening to me?
We've almost exhausted all of the natural toxins.
So, man-made.
Good possibility. Don't worry, we will get to the bottom of this.
Well, undoubtedly. But what is in doubt is whether we find out what killed this man soon enough to help William.
Hey, look who's here.
You're the one who put me in here, damn you!
We meet again.
Mr. Rhodes.
Come to say goodbye. Well, perhaps that won't happen. I heard your key witness is met with unfortunate circumstances.
You heard about that, did you?
Things like that get around. I must say, you're looking a little worse for wear. Little one keeping you up? Never a good idea to have a child at your advanced age.
Nothing.
Well, it's certainly not nothing. Something killed Mr. Bent.
Perhaps it was a stroke or a brain hemorrhage.
I think it's time to get the saw.
Well, I certainly have no insight into what is troubling you. But I do hope it passes. By any chance, are you a traveling man?
What does that have to do with anything?
This modern world. People traveling hither and yon. Pick up all sorts of nasty ailments.
This is more than just a nasty ailment.
That's too bad.
What did you do to me, Rhodes?
You really must haunt your dreams.
Hardly.
What could I possibly do? I've been in here 6 months with nothing but my conscience for a companion.
Your conscience?
I do have one, you know.
If it wasn't you, it was one of your friends.
I've got no friends. Not one single visitor since I've been in here. I tell you, now that I'm facing the end, it has really made me consider some of the decisions I've made in my life.
I don't care about your decisions, Rhodes. What did you do to me?
And I told you, I've done nothing. As I said, look where I am. And this is the only place I've been for months. Perhaps what is affecting your body is also affecting your judgment.
There's nothing wrong with my judgment.
That's so. Well, perhaps it was something you ate. You know, sometimes we try something unfamiliar and the body acts up.
You ready for today?
I am indeed. This is a rare treat.
A gift from Mrs. Hart.
I touch a nerve?
If you harmed my wife.
As I said, I have harmed nobody.
I'm going to watch you hang.
Such parting words. Nice talking to you. You don't know how much I appreciate having a visitor.
I'll see you in court.
Sure. God willing.
You don't have long, do you?
Who are you?
Must be strange for you now that the shoe is on the other foot.
What are you talking about?
You sent so many to their grave.
All deserving.
In your eyes. I'm not sure they see it that way. But I suppose you'll find out soon enough.
Who are you?
I speak for those who want you dead.
Wait. I asked you a question.
Excuse me, sir.
You were speaking to me.
I will not. I never said a word.
I heard you.
I didn't say a thing. Please, sir, let me go.
I'm sorry.
There appears to be no damage to the cerebellum.
But his motor skills were affected.
So we can rule that out as the cause.
And there's no damage to the medial frontal cortex.
So not the reason for the delusions.
Well, it seems Mr. Bent is the owner of a perfectly healthy brain.
Well, something killed him. We just don't know what it was.
I'm sorry to say that appears to be the case.
Where are you going?
I have to find William. If we can find nothing of the agent that killed Mr. Bent, then perhaps William is my better bet. I have to examine him.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Those two there. I know at one time Rhodes was associated with the woman, Betsy Moore. She used to be his sweetheart.
Who's the big fella?
I don't know. Sir, do you need me?
Just keep beating the bushes, Higgins. Oh, and get McNabb and Anderson to check out Mr. Bent's past. There's a chance that Murdoch's barking up the wrong tree on this one.
You think that's possible, sir?
Just do what you're told, Higgins.
Mind if I join you?
Did we say yes?
It wouldn't matter if you did or you didn't.
What do you want?
A couple of answers about Frank Rhodes.
Don't know who you're talking about.
You were his piece of fluff once upon a time, weren't you?
And what business is that of yours?
I'm the one asking the questions.
I knew Frank for a time, yes.
And?
Let's just say I'm happy to know he's behind bars.
She's with me now.
Lucky fella.
Watch him.
Oh, what? I'll tell you what. Why don't you step outside for 5 minutes and play with the traffic? I need a private word with the lady.
It's all right, Cal. So what do you want to know about Frank?
Do you ever visit him in jail?
Of course not. Haven't seen Frank in years. Although I am looking forward to his trial. I hope he hangs.
A woman scorned.
More like a woman who dodged a bullet. I know what happens to people who get on Frank's bad side.
So you don't do his bidding anymore?
Certainly not.
How did you meet Frank?
Years ago, he did a job for a man I worked for.
And this man, do you have a name?
Benedict Evers. He's a chemist. Ran an apothecary near Church Street. I did his books.
And what kind of job did Frank do for you?
I learned well enough never to ask Frank what he was up to. But I will tell you, when I first started working for Mr. Evers, he was a married man. And when I finished, he was a widower. And none too bothered about that.
What do you want?
What have you done to me?
I didn't do anything.
You liar! You did this to me!
What are you doing? Are you all right?
Bloody hell, man, what do you think you're doing? I have to go. There's no more time.
Dear God, he's getting worse. Are you sure you're all right?
I'm fine. He thinks I had something to do with this.
William isn't in his right mind at the moment.
What did I do?
I believe he thinks you poisoned his orange juice.
That's ridiculous.
Is it?
Don't insult me, Inspector. The detective has long suspected me of crimes I did not commit. This appears to be the latest.
Where did you purchase it?
Arthur has an exotic fruit supplier, and I acquired some. It was meant to be a gift, not a murder weapon.
I'll send a constable to retrieve what's left of the orange juice from your home.
That is ridiculous. I had nothing to do with this.
I didn't say that. It may have been tampered with without your knowledge.
Actually, it couldn't have been the orange juice. I likely drank more of it than William did. Apologies, Mrs. Hart.
I may have something.
What is it?
Rhodes was friendly with a woman who used to work for a chemist.
Does this chemist have a name?
Benedict Evers. Now, if the woman I talked to is to be believed, he hired Frank Rhodes to kill his wife.
I see. So he could be involved somehow?
I'll do my best to find this Mr. Evers.
Hello, I need you to connect me to a number.
Detective, you don't look well.
I need to talk to you.
That's why I'm here. Beat it.
So, what is so important that you called me?
What can you tell me about Frank Rhodes?
I know he betrayed the Black Hand. So as far as we're concerned, he's dead to us.
He will be soon enough.
We would have been happy to have done that for you.
How many people has he killed for you?
Detective.
Has he ever used poison?
I wouldn't know. But poison? That don't seem like Frank's style, no, too clean. Wait a minute. You told me that's what's happening to you? He's this poor sap.
I didn't say that.
You don't have to, I can see it in your eyes.
If Rhodes did this, he would have needed help.
Nah, I told you, Detective. No one in our organization has anything to do with Rhodes anymore. And we have no disagreement with you.
Then please, if you know anything, who on the outside could be helping him?
You said it. You think it was poison? There was one man.
What are you doing? It's the middle of the night.
I need to talk to the owner.
He hasn't been here in weeks. I think he shut the place down.
And he's left all his worldly goods there?
Appears so. Bright boy.
What did you say?
Nothing.
Get yourself down here right now.
So? What else do you want?
Where's Evers now?
How'd I know?
Well, you know when he cleared out, so it stands to reason that you know where he went.
I didn't care to be close to him.
Why not?
He became a bit of a nutter after his wife died.
What does that mean?
Just wasn't the same man. I'd see him out, carousing. Store hardly ever open.
He lost his wife.
Yeah, I suppose, but there was a cloud over him.
Oh, you ever seen this fella around here?
Matter of fact, I have, once or twice.
Did he do business with Evers?
I don't know what he did with Evers, but I did see him around. Is that one of your men?
Look, I've done with you for now. What the devil are you doing here, Murdoch?
Sir, the owner of this establishment is an associate of Frank Rhodes.
That may be, but he's long gone.
Right, I have to...
You need to go home, Murdoch. That's an order. Come on, let me point you in the right direction. It's on my way.
William? William?
I just wanted some time with her. Just a few more moments. Julia, I want you to know that no matter what happens, I'll die a happy man.
Well, I have no intention of living as an unhappy woman, so you stay here.
Oh, please stay with me.
No. I'm going to do what I can to keep you alive.
You are going to grow up to be strong and brilliant, just like your mother.
Oi! That's it, boys!
You're too late. Your detective's already a dead man.
Please stop! I'll stop when I get an answer.
Doctor, perhaps you should...
I'm fine. Let the inspector do what he needs to do.
It won't be long now, William. Are you ready? No one ever is. But death waits for no one.
What did he say?
He worked at a bakery. He poisoned Murdoch's scone.
With what?
He doesn't know.
And who ordered him to do that?
Rhodes.
Dr. Ogden.
See if you can find out what this is contaminated with, and please, hurry.
I'll do my best.
You'll do better than that, Mrs. Hart. You'll find out what's in there. My husband's life lies in the balance.
What are you doing?
Hopefully persuading someone to tell the truth.
The man you're looking for is Benedict Evers, who until recently operated a pharmacy on Church Street. He's familiar with this man, who worked in a bakery on Queen Street. I also need you to find this man and find him quickly. Do whatever it takes to make this happen. Understood? Thank you, gentlemen.
Oh, look what just came in. Oh, hey, gorgeous. Oh, come here. Oh, come closer, love. Come closer. Oh, come on. You're gorgeous. Oh, oh, where you going, sweetheart?
Ah, the good doctor. I've been expecting your visit.
I'm sure you have.
So, now that you're here, What can I do for you?
I don't want my husband to die.
Well, then you are not like most wives I've met. But I'm not sure that I can help you with that.
Mr. Rhodes, I'm desperate.
How desperate?
I'll do whatever you want. What did you give him?
Nothing. Look at me. Look at where I am.
Please, Mr. Rhodes. I don't want him to die.
We all die, Doctor. You should know that better than most. Is it not true? Death has surrounded you most of your life?
What do you want?
Like your husband. I don't believe I'm ready for the end.
What did you give him?
Does that matter?
Of course it does.
What if I were to tell you I have the cure?
What do you want for it?
Freedom.
I can give you that.
What have you done?
You have less than half an hour. This will save you.
Oh, you wouldn't commit a murder.
To save my husband, I would do anything.
I'm not sure, sir. We're still looking.
I know.
What else can we do?
I don't know.
You're a doctor. You wouldn't let me die. Isn't it some kind of oath?
I'll make an exception.
You don't have it in you.
I am a wife and a mother. And let me tell you, Mr. Rhodes, you wouldn't be the first man I killed.
I'm not sure that I believe you on that.
Mr. Rhodes, tell me, are you starting to feel constriction in your chest? You should be about now.
Guard! Guard!
There is no one here but you and me. Understand me, Mr. Rhodes. If you face a judge, there's a chance you could escape with your life. But that is not an option you have with me.
I can give you an address for the man who supplied the poison.
I'm to believe there's an antidote?
There is. I've used it before.
Give it to me.
Elmwood Arms, room 104. There you'll find Benedict Evers.
Good.
Hey! We had a deal.
Mr. Rhodes, I am true to my oath. I gave you a mild paralytic. It should be fine in a few hours.
When we're in position, wait for my signal.
You don't need to be here, Julia.
Stop me.
That you, Williams? You have the rest of my money?
No, it's not Williams. You get over there. Young lady, get out. Go, go on.
What's this about?
Where's the antidote?
An antidote? I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't have time for this. The antidote now, or you're a dead man.
Goodbye, Susanna. You'll live in a much better world than mine. And your mother's going to raise you to be whoever you want.
It's time, William.
Can I have just One more moment.
I'm sorry. You lived a good life. Better than most.
I did.
But all things come to an end.
It's not time.
Julia.
William, it's all right. Everything's going to be all right.
Thank you, Detective Murdoch. I'm sure this was very trying.
I'm feeling better by the hour.
You have a most resourceful wife.
What about the chemist?
He's currently facing 2 charges, although he is complaining about brutality. You put a very dangerous man away, Detective. We are all very much in your debt.
It's not my debt you're in, it's Julia's.
Frank Rhodes has issued a complaint against her.
Well, has he now? Well, I'm more than prepared.
Well, nothing will be required of you, Dr. Ogden. The matter is quite closed. Frank Rhodes' execution is scheduled for today.
That was fast.
I don't believe Frank Rhodes deserves another day above the soil. Do you?
With your permission, sir, I'd like to spend the next day or 2 at home.
Of course. You've both earned it.
Get some rest.
Hello, Frank. It is finally time.